Hey guys, I think I forgot to record this video. So here's just the questions, the type of examples you'll see on Knewton with these problems. And I actually put the graphs out beside it. So like number 1 for the function f of x equals cosecant, which of the following are not possible values? And we talked about that the only thing that's not possible with secant and cosecant is they don't have anything from -1 to +1. And that everything else is possible. So in secant and cosecant, everything from -1 up to +1, which is normally where the sine and cosine are, that's off limits for secant and cosecant. Okay, so this one, -2.1 would apply, -1.2 would apply, -1 applies because it actually equals -1, but these -0.34 and this 0, they do not. So all of this stuff inside here, any values on the y-axis from 1 to -1 is not going to apply. All right, then we move on to number 2, which of the following is not in the domain of cosecant. You really don't even need your graph. Oh, wait a minute, that's domain. So it's not your answers. Number 1 was like, what are the answers? Number 2 is what could the x values be, because it's asking for domain. Okay, so the first one was asking for the y values. This one's asking for x values because it's talking about domain. And we know that in cosecant, and I've still got that graph right up above it, my domain cannot happen where any of these asymptotes are. I can't have those values in the domain. So it's all of those intervals at pi. So -pi, pi, 2 pi. So let's pick, other than this one, the only one it's going to be is pi. It's the only option. Okay, the next one, these two are going to be about secant. I've got the graph shown there, and like I said, you'll be able to use these graphs when you take your test. I made that cheat sheet that has all of them on one page that you'll be able to refer back to. So on the domain from 0 to 2 pi, so that's talking about on this graph, you're just looking from here to here, on 0 to 2 pi. Well, actually, my 2 pi is right there. Sorry about that, guys. Which of the following values of x will cosine equal secant? All right, well, cosine is only going to equal secant at these 1 points. Okay, so that happens at 0, and it happens here at pi. And it does at 2 pi too, but they didn't include 2 pi in the interval because of the parentheses there. We know everything else with cosine is going to be all these values in between 1 and -1. So the only places they equal each other is 1 and -1. And then the last one, on the graph of your secant x, and on that interval again from 0 to 2 pi, for what values of x does f of x equals 1? So this is asking you, when does y equal 1? And we just did that just like here, 1, and then we had -1 and then +1. I mean, that's when our y's equal 1. So at 0, just let me color it in here. Yeah, kind of. At 0, and then not at pi, because that was actually -1, but at 2 pi, and it's not including 2 pi. So just 0 on that one, and that's all.